So here we are. I'm very excited about this. This stream right now, for those people watching live, like I just said, is going out on 3 platforms. We're streaming on Twitter, we're streaming on Facebook, and we are streaming on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn for the first time tonight. If you're not joining me live and you're listening on the Acts on This TV audio experience on iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher, you're watching the replay on YouTube, maybe you're watching the replay on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter or Periscope, shout out to you. But where were you? We do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. We chew the fat about the acting industry, either acting like per se or personal development, something that's really going to help you get further in your career much faster, and just give you a better understanding really of what you need to do in your life and your career to move forward. So shout out to everyone who was joining me live. Cy Barton's just joined in the house. Simon has lent me the best Hoover, by the way, ever. We'll talk about that on another broadcast side, but it's so much better than my G-Tech, mate. Thanks for that. Emma Ecton's in the house. Amy is here. Janet Lilly, Julie Edwards, Jennifer's just joined. Tom, Esther, Jill, Simeon, John, Rihanna, Lucy, Amber, Sophia, Steve, Dougal, Shannon, everyone's in the house. Massively, Vive's here. Hugely appreciate you all. Andrea, if you're not here live, look at all these people you're missing out on. Gary's just joined. Esther Rose, Josh Fielden as well. Tonight, guys, we're talking all about social media strategy. Now, this is something that I've been going on about really for the last sort of 2 months. I've been really kind of bullish on actors getting to grips with social media to build their acting careers on their own terms, not just relying on, their agent or a casting director to somehow come across their work. A writer to just, happen to write a role that just about suits them. Their agent just be, in the right place at the right time to submit them. The casting director look at that submission, bring them in. So many things have to happen in the chain for you to actually go from, just being an actor available for work to actually being in the room for an audition. And then when you're in there, booking the job as well. This is a golden era, 2019, 2020. It's like an absolute golden era for us as actors. Never, ever, 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 ever has it been easier to go direct to market. Same in the music industry as well. Sometimes I'm like, oh, God, I wish I could sing and I was the pop star because the gatekeepers are gone. This is something that I've been realizing so much recently. There used to have to be, there used to have to be a middleman. It would be down to somebody to discover you. If you're a singer, to go, oh, I've got this great guy. Let's bring him in. Let's give him a gig. Let's do this. Let's give him a record deal. In order for the public ever to hear that person. It was impossible, really, bar going out on the street and just selling your CDs to somebody, people. And you see people doing that back in the day. How many times did you see that? You walk down Market Street in Manchester, I get that quite a lot. People coming over, giving me CDs. Will you buy my album for $5? That was the only way to do it. Now, the internet, social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you're watching me right now. I literally could be going out to thousands of people. Roughly this goes, that's about 650 people across the night, right? So not thousands, but technically millions could watch this at once. It wouldn't cost me any money. It wouldn't, the technology's there. It's completely possible. The internet is not going to blow up if 500,000 people tune into this live broadcast. It's possible for that to happen, and it doesn't cost us a thing. So if you're not using social media to really put yourself out there, and just getting permission of anybody else. Stop waiting to get permission from other people to do your thing and put your work out there. If you're not doing that, you're just doing yourself a massive disservice. And what you're going to do, wait another 25 years and hope that it just happens, hope that you get discovered out the other 100,000 actors in this country all try to do it, or are you going to put yourself out there and and actually go direct to market, cut out the middlemen? Amy says, yes, so excited about this. It is honestly it's never been a better time to be a creative. There just hasn't, because of this lack of friction between you and your audience. But you need to know who your audience is. Good evening, Brendan. Good evening, Esther. Bobby's here as well now. Kerry's just joined. Steve says a young French vocalist got picked up when she was clothes shopping in London one day to sing with Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. How did she do that, Steve, though? That's probably through a bit of, maybe, what was it, singing in the street or what? I mean, busking, yeah, could still work for musicians. Good evening, Matt. But yeah, if you're an actor, just getting yourself out there in front of the right audience, though, is critical. And one thing that has really, really hit home with me recently is actors are getting their audiences completely wrong. I put a post out today, and I'm going to play you an episode of my vlog. It's about a 20-minute episode of this vlog that I put out called Watch Ross every other week. And it's a behind-the-scenes look of the podcast that I create for actsonthis.tv. If you're an actor and you don't know what actsonthis.tv is, get over to actsonthis.tv and check it out. If you have a look in the Watch News section, I publish dozens and dozens of podcasts on this site with the biggest actors, agents, casting directors, writers, producers in the country. The one that I published this morning was with Ollie Reynolds, who you've seen me, I've worked with to promote Acts on This. I've also worked with him on something called Social Media Deep Dive Live that we've done for the Acts on This TV community. We just took 20 people through a huge 21-hour training on social media marketing, because that's Ollie's background. He owns a social media marketing agency, and we did this podcast the Saturday before last. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was just, or was it? Was it just last Saturday? Yeah, Saturday before last. And I've literally just put it out this morning on the website. It's available to all members of the website right now, and I'm going to show you behind the scenes of the vlog. Behind the scenes of the podcast in this vlog that I put out on YouTube this morning as well. And one thing, that comes up in this that I just want to hit home before I play it for you is how wrong actors are getting their audience. What they're doing and just be honest if you've done this, because I have, I'll hold my hand up, right? You go out, you create a show reel scene, you might spend a few £100 getting a show reel scene shot, or, raising money for a short film and getting a short film shot that you star in or whatever. You've got your headshots, that you've spent a decent amount of money on. They're essential tools for an actor. But then what do you do with those two pieces of your toolbox? Most actors just post it in Facebook groups full of other actors. It's the most pointless strategy on earth to get more work. I, as an actor, cannot give you a job, right? We want to run a Facebook group, Acts on This Facebook group, right? It's 10,000 actors in there. The tiniest percentage of them in there will be able to give you a job, and if they can, it's probably going to be unpaid. So if you are looking to promote yourself as an actor and you're creating your own work and you want to get it in front of the right people, it's not actors. It's almost, a lot of the time, not casting directors either, not agents. If you are genuinely building an audience to leverage in order to, sell out shows that you might be putting on, crowdfund for films you want to do yourself, it's not going to be, necessarily actors and casting directors and agents giving you money. It's going to be people interested in the genre of that thing you're putting on. If you're making a sci-fi movie, there's no point in going and publicising that in acting groups. All you're doing that for is that little dopamine kick where people go, oh my God, that's such an amazing idea, you're so great, or that headshot's amazing, you look amazing in that picture. It's bullshit. It's never going to lead to any money. It's never going to lead to any employment. It's just going to make you feel validated and a little bit better. If you actually went into sci-fi groups on Facebook and started building an audience that way, started putting your work out in front of people who genuinely care about it, and then you end up with a huge audience who really are fans of your work, the next time you're putting on a show, how easy is it going to be to sell it out, as opposed to begging your friends and family to come and watch you in a fringe theatre show you're putting on at a local pub? If you use social media to build an audience, you can sell it out like that so quickly. Honestly, it works. I'm going to play you this vlog. You're going to see behind the scenes of the Manchester meetup that we do for the Acts on This community as well. We do a meetup in Manchester and London every first Saturday of every month. So the first Saturday of every month, we do this at Home Theatre in Manchester. I run that one. We've got a group of actors down in London who run one. And at the same time, it's the first Saturday of every month at the Benugo Bar, BFI South Bank, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. these are. You'll see behind the scenes of this little this meetup that we had in Manchester on the Saturday just gone. Then you'll see behind the scenes this podcast with Ollie. Then I'm going to jump back on camera. I'm going to just discuss it for a little bit. And you're also going to see Steve Connolly and a few people who are watching live right now giving vox pops about why you should come down to the next Manchester meetup. So let's just check the comments before I play this. So there's a few people. Yeah, there's a couple of people going to have already watched the vlog. Bear with us. Watch it again. You might hear something for the second time that might sink in. This time it's only 20 minutes or so. Angie, good evening. Hope you're good. Ollie's here as well now. Sharon's here. Let's have a look. Matt's here as well. Says only post my headshots on actor page on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I just think, and you'll hear, and this sounds brutal, right? But this is just the truth, okay? And I promise you felt this as well. You must, as an actor, get so bored of seeing other actors' headshots. You just do. It's something that most people put up, and generally it's like, oh, here's my new shot. And yes, people will look very good in that shot. It's supposed to be you on a really good day, so you're not going to look shit in your headshot. So yes, it's going to accumulate all of these likes and these comments going, oh, really great headshot. But it's not ultimately going to propel your career forward. It's just people kind of giving you that little validation that's going to make you feel good. You would be far better spending that time rather than replying to those comments, actually creating content that will lead to work or will, build an audience for you who can actually, earn you a living ultimately. But we liken those headshots and the way people kind of put them everywhere to the pictures that everyone will have seen over the last couple of weeks of their kids going to school on the first day. And it's exactly the same as Valentine's Day, when you get all the pictures on Instagram of what guys have bought their girlfriends for Valentine's Day, and it will always have the hashtag boys done good, and it'll be a picture of a fucking handbag and a pair of shoes or something like that. It doesn't give any value to the audience. It's just like it's selfish content ultimately. So have a look at this anyway. I can still see the comments. I can still see the comments on. I'm going to be checking LinkedIn out as well to see if anybody's watching on LinkedIn. But yeah, let me know your thoughts as we're going along. And I'm going to jump back on at the end. We'll still have loads of time to actually chat about this. Good evening, Adam's just joined us as well. Here is the vlog. See you in a minute. Well, 20.
And this is the biggest bone that I have to pick with actors is the headshot. Like taking the headshot and just posting that.
It's just so boring. It's
not
dull.
attention. There's no value, and it's definitely not relatable.
Welcome everybody to episode 60 of What's Ross, the one where we're getting social. Right, this is new. He's new. We're at Starbucks on First Street in Manchester because this morning, where are we going, Ollie?
We're going home.
We're not going to my home. We're going to home theatre for the Acts on This TV Manchester meetup. We do this once a month in Manchester and in London. If you're an actor and you want to get support, you want to network with other actors, you want to set goals and get everybody to like help you achieve them, get yourself down first Saturday of every month. We do it here at Home Theatre. In London, Wendy and Mel and the gang down there do it at Benugo Bar, BFI South Bank, 11 till 2 on the first Saturday of every month. So we're going to go there. That's social. Okay, I just told everyone we're going to get social, right?
Yep.
But then why else are you here?
Well, I'm here to talk about social media for actors.
Talking to this microphone here, social media for actors.
We're here for social media for actors.
Ollie, basically behind the scenes of Acts on This .tv, if you're not a member actors, go sign up, has ultimately helped me double the membership on Acts on This .tv within, well, do 8 years worth of growth in 8 weeks via social media,
Yep.
Facebook ads, building a brand online, ultimately the under the hood, like dark arts of social media that I knew nothing about until now. Me and Ollie set up an event called the Social Media Deep Dive, the Acts on This TV Social Media Deep Dive Live, that we just took 20 actors through in Media City UK, teaching them the dark arts as well. It's a bit like Harry Potter, isn't it? And we're going to record a podcast on it, so you guys, ultimately we can't give you the training we've given the people in Media City because that was 21 hours, but we're going to give you a 90-minute podcast teaching them all the secrets, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to teach them as much as we can in 90 minutes. We're going to kind of help you discover how to be more relevant, how to be more seen.
How to be more seen.
Yeah, by more people.
Do a vlog, get seen. Yeah, honestly, it's going to be great. Right, so we're going to, I nearly kick your brew over there, Petch. We're going to go home. We're going to do this this meet up. You'll see behind the scenes of it, and then we're going to get cracking with the podcast. Petch, like, oh, you can do it. You do this, and it sends the screen away. Just do that. This is why you should never compare yourself to anybody else, because you don't want what anyone else wants. Even people more successful, less successful, however you determine success, never compare like what you want and what they want, or get jealous of what they've got or they haven't got, or this and that and the other. Like, you don't want what everyone else wants. So all you're doing right now, you know, because you're young, is figuring out what it is you actually want, and maybe your standards and your vision doesn't align with those people who you associate with, and you probably associate with them from no real other reason than you went to school with them because you're young, you live near them. You've probably not had a chance to actually go out into the world yet, being so young, and actually find those people who resonate with your standards and what you want from your life. So that's all you realise, and it's totally normal. And you will naturally, when you figure that out, drift away from certain people, drift towards other people, and you do want to seek out rooms where you are the least experienced, you are, you know, the least successful, in inverted commas or whatever, because you're going to be inspired by the thoughts and aspirations and the dreams of other people who are a little bit more courageous maybe than you are right now. I went out at a curry a week ago with 3 guys. They were all all running significantly larger businesses than me. One is running a multiple 7-figure business right now, bringing in some serious wealth on a monthly basis. And that isn't like, and you know what? We're sat around the table having a curry, everyone's drinking water, no one's bling bling and buying Dom Perignon. It's bullshit, and we're all talking about ways we can positively impact other people with our businesses. And that, for me, is what is, a determination of success. Yeah. It's not about all the material stuff we spoke about before. And I came away more inspired, more motivated, ready to dream a little bit bigger and take more action on the things that I want to achieve, because they gave me that confidence, because I've seen them do it. And I'm like, actually, you know what, you're doing it, and with respect, you're no better than me. We're all, you're no more intelligent than me. You've been a bit more courageous right now, or you've gone out and asked for things that I haven't dared ask for right now.
I'm going to do it today about what's more important, brains or balls. You know what I mean?
Both, courage. Man, both. But courage, 5 seconds of courage can change your life. Steve, Leah, why should people come to an Acts on This TV meetup?
Well, it's such a rewarding thing. You get so much more information, you get a lot of help from everybody else, you get a lot more help from Ross. You meet to see people in the same position that you are in the industry.
I love the community feel. I love that everyone's so supportive of each other.
You get a lot of support from this lot. This man's a good man. It gives you all the support in the world that it can give you. So do the rest of them.
Everybody's from different backgrounds. There's some people, have been doing acting since childhood, but other people have changed careers. So there's so many different walks of life here, and you really get insight from everyone. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Ross gives nothing but value to people, and there's no agenda other than to make you become better, stronger, wiser, or get to where you want faster.
Despite what your background is, because we're all included, and you just get confidence, and Ross is here to help everyone, and everyone out, whichever walk of life you come from.
It's inspirational, practical, and you'll be held to account for your dreams.
And you leave here with a sense that anything is possible.
Right, that was the Acts on This TV meetup for September. We do this every single month. The next one's going to be October, first Saturday in October. Don't know when the date is for that. It'll be on your screen right now, though. Please come along, get to the Facebook group, Facebook page actually, and the group, but it's facebook.com/Acts on This TV, facebook.com/groups/Acts on This TV. You can RSVP right there. Ollie, we're going back to mine to do this podcast.
Yep.
Why should people keep watching the vlog?
Guys, keep watching the vlog. If you want to be seen on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter by the right people in the acting industry, you need to keep watching right now. Keep watching. You're going to see a few clips of it, and then we're going to come back on for an exclusive chat at the end. Until then, this is the Social Media Podcast. So, Oliver Reynolds, actor / social media guru, welcome to my flat. Welcome to actsonthis.tv. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. How are you?
I felt like I was really over-energized there. You came in with like some sort of like nice calmness.
Deep velvet.
That might be required for this podcast. Mate, thank you so much for joining us today. I know this podcast is going to be ridiculously... just super useful, like for the people who are listening. For those who don't know who you are, I mean, I've now been working with you, doing social media for actsonthis.tv for probably the last 12, 13 weeks. We've done some live broadcasts together for people within the actsonthis.tv community. We've just ran something called Social Media Deep Dive Live that we'll talk about a little later in the podcast. But for people who are tuning in and maybe new members to the site who haven't got a bloody clue who you are, give us a little bit of background on you. Who's Ollie Reynolds? How did you get into acting? What's your background before that? And why are you so good at social media?
So first off, let me say just thank you for welcoming me on the podcast and being a good person, coachable in all the stuff that I've kind of been teaching you and everybody that's listening today and watching. I want you to be the same as Ross. I want you to take the information. Be coachable. I love it. Blowing his ego up here.
1 minute and 20 seconds in, and we're already bigging me up. Yeah. I like it.
It's a record, surely.
Excellent. It definitely is.
And basically just, you
talk straight into the mic, Ollie, rather than being off. Yeah. There you go.
So you've taken the information that I've given you and you've literally run with it, and you've kind of not screamed or kicked or shouted about any of it. You've literally just gone ahead and worked with it, which makes my job so easy. So if everybody with the information that we talk about today Obviously, jump in the community, ask questions, tag both of us. That's fine if there is things that you're confused about. But the most important thing is actually try it. Don't just listen today and do nothing. Like there is nothing more frustrating for me to put my time, and for you as well, to put our time into this and our passion, because this is our passion, and then people do nothing with it. So I'm Ollie Reynolds. My background primarily was I was in the fitness industry. So literally left school. And from the age of 16, didn't go into, I went into college, failed miserably at college. I was told the old school, like, oh, this is going to give you the certificates you need and all that kind of stuff.
Lies.
So I went and did like a level 2 a year before I could actually do it. So I had to wait around a year to go into the industry. And I started off working in a gym as a PT.
Yep.
And I soon realized that the gift of the gab, basically, to enable to get clients, sign up clients and all this kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And I soon found that I was too big for that. I was too good for that. I was better than most people. And this was way before social media. So I was a good networker. I was good with talking to people. I was good with selling. I was good with finding people, seeing their pain and helping them overcome it, basically.
Right.
And that, by the way, is the key for social media. And that's why I've brought that up. So fast forward a couple of years, I'd worked in pretty much every gym that I'd ever wanted to work in, climbed the ranks in those gyms and those gym chains. And I soon kind of realized that if I want to have more freedom, more time, more money, I need to go and do this myself. So I went and essentially opened my own gym. And the first year was really difficult. This was before social media. And about year 2, this is when Facebook ads started really kicking off.
Yep.
So Facebook was a platform basically where people just reached out to friends, and that was it.
Yep.
And they brought out their platform where you could advertise to people in the local area to give them offers, or content really wasn't a big thing at the time until we started actually doing it. And I was learning all of my social media stuff from America. So I was doing stuff. This would have been about 9 years ago now, before anybody else in the UK was doing it. And basically what had ended up happening, we went from struggling making £1,000 to £2,000 a month to basically outgrowing our own gym and then having to open a new facility. And then fast forward another couple of years, we opened a second gym. And then 3 years ago, we sold those gyms.
Yep.
Because it just didn't fulfill me anymore. It didn't make me happy anymore. And it wasn't really the thing that I knew that I was going to do long term.
Yep.
And all this knowing that I always wanted to be an actor, like since the age of 5. I remember I've got this memory of a house, being at my mum and dad's house, and I was playing around, and my mum literally turned around to my dad and said, we should get him and take him to drama school. And I remember feeling like that's exactly what I want. That's what I want to do. And the long story short, my parents lost the house. My dad lost his job. My mum became really, really ill. And it was basically a massive kind of change, and no drama school and all this kind of stuff. 25 years later, finally, I started, training to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't be more happier, to be honest, about that. And what makes it even sweeter is actually knowing what I know from running the gyms. And I now run an agency, which is where the agency that I run is a social media marketing agency. So other gyms all around the world, we've got clients in California, Canada, Australia, all over the UK. And basically they pay me to run their marketing campaigns and help them do the consulting side of things. And help them grow their business. So much like that we've done with Act on TV.
So it's not just applicable to gyms. Obviously, the stuff that Ollie has used within his own business and then helping other gyms in his industry grow. Ollie reached out to me 3 months ago, something like that. Maybe not even that. It's probably like 2 months ago. 3 months, isn't it really? And it was like, listen, I think I can help you grow Acts on this. And I was like, oh, all right, mate, whatever. I kept putting it off.
You fobbed me off probably.
Fobbed me off like 3 points. I just get a lot of requests and I was just super busy and like a bit overwhelmed. And then finally we got on a call. And to cut a long story short, again, Ollie helped me implement some strategies that's helped me double the membership of Acts on this in what was 8 or 9 weeks. So I actually had as much growth in 8 or 9 weeks as I'd had the previous 8 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy hell, like this is really, really powerful. every actor should kind of know these strategies for promoting their own work. You know, if you've got short films to promote, you've got crowdfunders to promote. You know, you're putting on a play, you've got to sell tickets to the, you know, if you're doing something at the Edinburgh Fringe or whatever it is. I was like, wow, all of these things you've taught me can be implemented into people's acting careers. What kind of content do you think actors should be posting online? Because a lot only think they can post their headshot and their show reel and that is it, and it's just bullshit. It's like, you know, if you are creating a brand online and marketing, you need to be sharing a lot more than that. So what do you think are the things that are useful for actors to share?
So point number 2 is AVR. So it's attention. A is for attention, V is for value, and R is for relatable. Okay, so is the image or the video grabbing attention? All right. Or is the caption, so the writing with the image or video, grabbing attention?
Yep.
All right. Are you genuinely giving value? Is it really, really, you know, either life-changing or funny or dramatic? Like, what is it? Is it giving value? Okay. Does it make people feel something? And with that is relatable. So is it relatable? And this is the biggest bone that I have to pick with actors, is the headshot. Like taking the headshot and just posting that.
It's just so boring. It's
not
dull.
attention. There's no value, and it's definitely not relatable. It's not a relatable situation for anyone. It's just awkward. You know, it's the equivalent of seeing, and I apologize to all the parents, but it's the equivalent of, like, you know, when kids go back to school and all the parents take a picture of their kid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Your timeline is full of those pictures. It's the same.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's the same.
Can't believe he's in secondary school already. Where's the time going? Where's my baby gone? Oh, God. And they're always in a school uniform on the front doorstep.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, we know you're proud of your kids. That's fine. But take a picture of it and then just, like, keep it in your phone. Like, you don't need to put it on Instagram.
Send it to the friends
Yeah.
who find it valuable.
Email the grandparents with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like, there's nothing relatable about that whatsoever. It's not attention grabbing. It's not valuable, and it's not relatable to those. I guess it's relatable to those who are doing it as well, but it's all a little bit of a one-up. My kid's better than your kid. Look how great they look in the school uniform.
The platform wants to keep users on the platform. And the reason being is because Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are basically a marketing company. They are having people pay them to run advertisements to users on those platforms, right? So if you've posted a really good piece of content and I'm engaging with it and I really enjoy it, and you're engaging with me backwards and forwards.
So I'm keeping you on the platform.
Keeping me on the platform. Therefore, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook can serve more ads to me. Therefore, they make more money.
Yep.
So the key is that if you are an authority, or we'll call it an influencer. That's probably the easiest thing to call it. An influencer in the niche that you're trying to work with. What's going to happen is that Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, they're going to favor you, and they're going to show more of your stuff than anybody else's, because you are keeping people on the platform. And if you are running ads yourself, then great. That's going to benefit you as well in the long term.
Yeah, and people might be like, what? Why would I run ads? I'm just an actor. We won't have time to go into this today, the intricacies of this. It's something we can cover if you do get involved with any of the, you know, the deep dive stuff and like maybe, you know, future things that we put out there. But if you are an actor, there are plenty of reasons why you would run ads. If you are crowdfunding for a film, if you are running a show for 3 weeks at a theatre, Facebook will allow you to run ads to people who are interested in the genre of thing that you are, your play is about, that you're performing. They'll allow you to run ads within, X miles from that venue. So you can say, I want to target everybody who likes Doctor Who. Petch, for instance, did a play on Doctor Who, an LGBT themed play on Doctor Who. He could target, or could have targeted people via Facebook ads who like Doctor Who, who like, various other people who've been in Doctor who are part of the LGBT community and live within a 3-mile radius of the King's Arms in Salford.
Yep.
And he could have spent £5 a day on ads and sold that venue out via Facebook ads. It's so powerful, guys.
And it's simple math, by the way, guys. So if you're like, well, why would I spend £150 a month on an advert? Well, how much were the tickets?
What were tickets, Petch? £9 and £7.
There you go. So two or 3 sales a day, which would have been more than achievable. And he's in profit. He doesn't lose a penny. And even if he sold one a day, he still would have been in profit.
Still doubling his money.
Yeah, and more importantly, he would have had bums on seats, which creates more attention.
People posting on Instagram, doing stories from the audience.
And
exactly.
That you can't buy that.
No.
Well, you can. You just run Facebook ads. Organically, you can actually do a lot better than people think. When I say organic, it means you don't pay Facebook. Let's say, for instance, you are in a sci-fi film or a sci-fi short or a show reel or TV or theatre or whatever it might be. You're going to find other people that are going to enjoy the content that you're going to be posting. You are going to find people in that niche that go to Facebook groups, so sci-fi Facebook groups, Star Trek groups, Star Wars groups, just sci-fi, anything. Go in there and you're going to physically add them 40 people a day.
And there you go, another actsonthis.tv podcast. You just saw a few clips of it there. If you want to go and listen to the full thing, which was what, Ollie, like 95 minutes. Again, these are all like 95-minute podcasts we're producing recently. Get over to actsonthis.tv. You can listen to a 15-minute preview of that. Again, you've just, some extra stuff you might not have seen there. But if you want to get access to the full 95 minutes, get a membership. It'll be literally the best thing you ever do for your freaking acting career. Now, there's a couple of things, Ollie, just what I cover just for 5 minutes. Some things that we did kind of touch on there, but I want to recap on again. One of the main points for me right now, what I've learned working with you, is that a lot of actors are, one, they're getting their audience completely wrong. So they're just promoting stuff to other actors. But two, the biggest thing for me that I'm seeing actors do is really publishing selfish content. I want people to really look at that value part of ABR and go, is this post making, the person who's looking at this, is it like, making their day better or worse by having consumed that content? Is it giving them some kind of value? And Gary Vee, a mentor of ours, and I said I'd talk about this in the podcast and I didn't, talks about something called jab, 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 right hook, which is where you give, and give before you ask. So for instance, if you had a play that was coming up or you had a crowdfunder that was coming up or something, a short film you wanted people to watch, you've got to give way in advance of you actually asking your audience to go and see that play, buy a ticket to it, give you money for your crowdfunder or watch your short film. Do you want us to elaborate a little bit on that, on how actors who are watching this can do that and really engage with their audience that isn't other freaking actors or casting directors? Because it isn't. If you're building an audience to leverage and get opportunity from, this is like the general public that are out there. I'm getting like on one, but you talk and you hold this right to your mouth.
The easiest way to combat this is something called an empathy map. I don't know. We've worked a little bit. Yeah. So an empathy map helps you get inside your customers or your viewer's mind. So what happens is you think about what your people who are going to be following you, what they see, what they think, what they hear, and what they do, and then what their pains are and what their gains are. And when you do this, if you literally Google images and put in empathy map, you'll see an image of this printed off and write and scribble in all these things. So if we said, for instance, I don't know, let's do this randomly. You give me a customer base.
Oh, what, as in my audience? So, say for instance, I'm writing a comedy right now that I'll tell people more about later in time. But the audience for that are going to be, well, it's based around. I don't give it away, but like, I guess let's say geeks for now. Cool. Geeks would be my audience.
Yeah. So so straight away with geeks, what do geeks see? Okay, so what do geeks see?
Like geeky stuff, Marvel stuff, computer games, fantasy stuff, all those kind of like geeky things.
So I'm putting them on the spot, but this is perfect. So what do they say?
Geeky stuff, like shut up, Betch. No, like catchphrases. So I catch him talking about like the Marvel stuff all the time, and this Marvel universe, and these, what are them crystals called in Endgame, Petch, that everyone's after?
Why do they like all this stuff?
I think it's escapism. I think for a lot of people, they feel in society they don't fit in, and they feel that these superheroes and stuff are like, they generally have like a backstory, don't they? Superheroes where they didn't fit in, and then they became these incredible things, and then went out and saved the world. So I think they love that, and they love the community and feeling part of something on a really deep level.
Perfect. So straight away, he knows the audience, so he can connect to the audience really, really well. And that's all you need to create really good content. You do this, what we're talking about now, he's done this with this audience, the acting audience. You know the audience so well. So if you ever doubt that what we spoke about right now or in the podcast, like Ross has done this. I did this with my gyms. I knew my audience with the gyms. So You've got to build your audience. You've got to know your audience. You've got to know them so well, like the back of your hand. And that means that your content will fly and become a lot more viral as well with that aspect.
Yeah, nice. And once again, figure out your audience. As an actor, your audience is not actors. It is not casting directors. It's people who want to watch your content for the content and the genre of your content. If that is geeks and Marvel people and you're creating that content, go and find people who like that. Don't show it to a load of actors like myself who don't know what Infinity Stones are. Now I do, and I've got to watch the Marvel films. Right, this has dragged on a little bit, but yeah, I hope you found this useful. We're going to be back next week or the week after. I don't know when we're going to be back. We're going to be back with another vlog that it will grab your attention, will give you value, will be relatable. If we can do anything for you, social media is up on screen right now. Let us know you've watched. Drop me a tweet, drop me an Instagram message, anything to do for you. Yeah, just get in touch with us on social. That's what this is all about. Be social, and we'll catch up with you very soon. Petch, you want to come around and do the catchphrase? Petch hasn't been on the vlog for a little while, and I always kind of feel bad when he's just sat there. Petch, get in the middle. We'll see you soon. I hope it's been valuable for you, and until next time, 3, 2, 1.
Bye for now.
And there you go, folks. I mean, that was literally like the tiniest chunk of that 95-minute podcast. You probably got about 15 minutes of content there. Loads of people in the comments have been talking about it, and like a few people who have actually seen, listened to the full thing today have said how valuable it is. I think Paul said he's implemented some of the strategies that we used today, or he's already had content seen by 3,000 people. Andrew said the social media advice you've given has been already has made a huge difference. She came on the social media deep dive live that me and Ollie ran in Media City. Linda's here. Good evening, Linda. Hope you're well. Says you must watch this from the beginning. The replay will be online straight after this. Ultimately, I mean, there was so much we cover in that podcast. We cover every platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. How you build your following on each. We cover about the real misunderstanding around hashtags on Instagram. If you don't know the real strategy behind hashtags and why they exist, you need to listen to that podcast. If you want to know how you can build your following on Twitter very, very easily and engage a real deep following as well, because that's the key here, guys. Right? If you want to leverage an audience to actually, really propel your career. And I mean this, this is going to be more applicable to people who actually really want to create their own work. And I think that should be every single actor on the planet, because otherwise you are giving away all of your power and just expecting other people to make work that you can be in. Thus, I just don't think you're ever going to be as fulfilled or in as much work as you possibly could be if you did it yourself. So these strategies really work if you are creating your own work. And this is about getting a real depth with your audience. There's no point in having 1 million followers, and then only 1% of them communicating with you because you don't have a real relationship with them. This is about actually going, rather than being a mile wide and an inch deep with my audience, I'm going to be an inch wide and a mile deep with them. That's what I try and do with Acts on This. You guys on here, I've met most of you who are tuning in tonight probably once or twice in real life, if not more. I will have emailed you multiple times. I'll reply to every single comment people leave me, on social media. I will always try and lead with value. The thing we spoke about in that podcast about actors leading with selfish content is just insane. The amount of people I see who only publish selfish content, which is, here's a picture of me on set, here's a picture of me with a script, here's a picture of me, looking great in this picture, here's an accolade I've won, here's a film festival I've got into, here, it's all at best this kind of pseudo self-deprecation that isn't anything but showing off, really. That I mentioned a post I saw the other day with someone who had clearly published a book, and they wrote, "Oh, the awkward moment you see someone reading your book on the train. I was hoping to see some smiles, but not seen any yet." No, that's bullshit. You try to put yourself down there by saying your book's rubbish, but you're not. What you're really doing is saying, "Hi guys, I published a book. Look how great I am. Will you please give me loads of likes and just give me a temporary dopamine kick so I don't feel so bad about my life?" It's bullshit. You've got to really lead with value. So lots of ways you can do that as an actor. That's sharing your experiences, documenting your career, documenting the highs and the lows so other actors can learn from that. I put a huge thread of tweets on Twitter a couple of weeks ago talking about losing out on the biggest acting opportunity in my life. And it had a huge response. I did it in a very positive way, a very uplifting way, 10 lessons that I learned from that. It wasn't a woe me, give me sympathy, but that's one way of showing value. Sharing the journey of creating a short film or creating a show with your audience is a way of creating value, getting them to put input into it, showing them, going live on your phone behind the scenes as you're rehearsing. "Hi guys, day 2 rehearsals. This is Jack. He plays Bill in the play. Jack just tells a little bit about Bill. What's the character like?" Get your audience fired up and a lot of anticipation behind mind actually coming to watch that show. You can do giveaways for tickets on those live broadcasts. You can do things like that on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Do a vlog. Why don't you publish a weekly vlog showing, behind the scenes like I do behind the scenes of the podcast. You can do that behind the scenes of your film, behind the scenes of your show. There's so many ways to give your audience loads of value before you actually ask them to come and watch the show or give you any money, to crowdfund for something. But actors just don't seem to realize that. They just want to kind of like paint this picture themselves that they're always working, they're always happy, they're living the best life, and they don't need anything. No one's going to help you if you're just basically showing off all the time, because they don't think you need anything. Like, so many people are just not honest on social media. So we talk about so much in that podcast anyway. Go actonthis.tv, go check it out, get a membership on the site, and you'll get access to literally hundreds of hours of podcasts with other casting directors, writers, producers, actors, etc. Let's dive into some comments. Julie says, really valuable. Thank you, Ross and Ollie. I will watch the rest tomorrow. I just placed an ad on Facebook for my Friday night Latin dance classes. Cost me £1 a day. I cannot tell you the power of Facebook ads, guys. If you get the creative right, it's insane how the targeting you can do on Facebook ads is insane. If you were putting on a show at the Palace in Manchester and it was a show about, or Latin dance classes, for instance, Julie, you can go, right, I'm going to advertise this to my age group might be 18 to 45. Maybe you want to target men, women, or just men, just women. You can target them based on, with like a 3-mile radius of that venue who like Latin dancing, who have like this particular Latin dancer, Latin music, Ricky Martin, I don't know, whatever it is. You can go through all these likes and interests. So you are absolutely pin sharp on who you are targeting that advert to. So nobody who is seeing that ad is like irrelevant to it, in terms of there's no point in me showing ads for the acting site, for actonthis.tv, to plumbers. I can guarantee by creating a custom audience of all these things that I think actors like, that the people who are viewing that, that ad, the likelihood is that 99% of them are going to be actors. Therefore, I'm not wasting any money, advertising it to people who don't, are just completely not interested. It's really powerful. But actors, again, are not looking at themselves as a business. And like, I can't afford £5 a day. Well, you can't right now because you've got nothing to sell. So right now, and that's another thing as well, like, if no one's paying you for your services right now, without sounding harsh, and I completely I apply this to my own career as well, at that moment in time, my services are worthless. So this whole I'm only working for X amount of money. Well, if no one's going to employ you, mate, then actually you're not going to have any money then, are you? Your services right now are worthless, so the only way to make them worth something is to create something of value. That's why I think all actors should be creating their own work. Then you actually have something to sell. You have a show to put on. You can sell tickets to that. You have a short film made. You can sell tickets to a screening. You can create merchandise around that short film. You can create a huge audience who love the short film and will only be too glad to give you 25 quid for a hoodie and £10 for a water bottle and buy a copy on DVD. All of these things. There's nothing bad or evil about creating a business around your acting career, and you've really got to put the hustle in. You want a 1% life. Everyone in here wants to work on their own terms and earn enough money to do nothing else but act. That's a real 1% life. 99% of people on this planet do not get an opportunity to do that. So in order for you to do that and live, you're going to have to create a business around it. Ultimately, it's absolutely essential. Ollie says, stuff will watch and action is producing value that I struggle with. But an empathy map might help me structure what value is required and therefore fill that need. As a multimillionaire friend of mine says, you're either the dildo or the painkiller. Interesting, meaning you're either providing pleasure or you are relieving pain. Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, that's the thing that actors, that's why they only end up posting, Ollie, their headshot and their show reel. That's the only value they think they can give, and neither of those things are valuable. Your show reel is very, very important for a casting director and a director, and it's very relatable to those two people. Putting it out into the general mix, it's not relatable at all. Other people off the street, if you get your show reel out and say, to your electrician friend, what do you think of this? He's not going to understand it. They're going to be like, wait a minute, there's no story in this. These are just all multiple clips. What is this supposed to be? Your headshot is completely unrelatable, and it's mostly posted online for people's vanity. So they get that validation when people go, you look amazing. Of course you look amazing. It's been lit beautifully. It's been shot by a professional photographer. They've probably photoshopped your eyes so they have like more of a reflection in them, and they've deepened the color of them, and they've got rid of that mark and that spot on your face. Yeah, you're going to look good. Don't waste 3 hours posting it here, there, and everywhere. No one, in the nicest way, including myself when I post my stuff, no one gives a shit. I don't think for a second any of you lot care about my headshot. You've all got your own acting careers to go after. You don't give a shit whether I've got new headshots or not. why would you care? So let's put your focus and your time into producing content that's actually going to lead somewhere. Who wants to create something? Let me know. Or who is creating something, who is like, I have something to market. And if you've got any questions about it, let's let us know on here now, and we'll try and give you some like actionable things to do. Sharon said before, how do you promote a vlog that she's got on YouTube? One, create the best quality content you can. So, and you know what, it's hard. I mean, the vlogs that I put out, I make them to the best of my ability, and we spend a lot of money creating those vlogs. The production values are high, the equipment costs a lot of money to produce, to use, and then to produce a thing costs a lot of money. And still only get a few hundred people going to watch that vlog because it's in a very small niche, Sharon. So, it's not going to appeal to just everybody. Not many people are going to want to see behind the scenes of an acting meet or behind the scenes of a podcast for actors on social media. But don't get hung up in the vanity of metrics. You only need 500 people to watch your vlog a week to change your life. And that's when it comes to the depth, not the width. I could have, some episodes of the vlog I put out, 5,000 people will watch them, 10,000 people, because they have a celebrity in them. They're not watching them because they want to be part of what I have to, to offer and what I have to sell as a business. They just want to see what the celebrity's saying. So those extra, potentially 9,500 views are worth nothing to me whatsoever. They might make you feel better because I've got 10,000 views on my vlog. Ultimately, it's just vanity. That's why I can't wait for Instagram to take away the likes. They're doing it in Australia right now. I'm hoping they take away the likes across the board, because then people will stop posting selfish content. People in Ollie's industry, in the fitness industry, the women will stop posting pictures of their backsides, and the guys will stop posting pictures of their abs, because they're the only things that they give. They get loads of likes. They're not valuable. They're not relatable, really. They're attention grabbing, but that's it. It's very lopsided content on the AVR model. It fulfills attention. Yeah, it gets our attention. No value. Not relatable. And they do that because they're the posts that get the most likes. So they're the posts that make these people feel better about themselves. When we take the likes away, people will then hopefully just focus more on what they really want to post. I know loads of people who post shit like that and they don't want to post it. They post it just because it does, it does well. They actually want to talk about something that's way more meaningful, but when they do that, then they get 10 likes on it, so they feel it's worthless. I won't talk about this cause that I'm really passionate about because I only get 10 likes. I'll post a picture of my arse and I'll get 500 likes. And I know they don't want to do that. They just do it for the validation. So I can't wait for Instagram to take away the likes. I think it's a really good thing. So yeah, Sharon, don't get caught up in the metrics. If you are trying to promote video and your vlog is 10 minutes long, look what I do with the content. So I have the YouTube vlog that goes out on YouTube. I cut it into little trailers that I publicize as 60-second trailers on Instagram. Some of those will be a bit longer and they'll go on Instagram TV. I'll cut a 2-minute and 20 trailer and parts of that podcast or that vlog for Twitter, and I put that out on Twitter because each platform allows you to post a different length of, has limitations around the length of video you can post. I will take screenshots of it and post that on Facebook. I will use Facebook groups and post it into Facebook groups with people who I know will be interested in the content within that vlog, so it's not random like Facebook groups. These are highly targeted groups. I create an email list so I can send out the episode to my email list. Even so, I still only rack up a few hundred views a week on those vlogs. But it's more about the depth and the connection you have with the audience, in what I do online. If 500 people watch that episode and then go and want to, sign up to a membership for Acts on This to listen to the full episode, the full podcast, and then get access to all the other podcasts that I do every week, then 500 members can be a huge boost to your business. So yeah, you need to be creating the best content you can create, and it's really got to be good because the vlog space is crowded as hell. If your vlog is selfish and it's all just talking about you and it's offering no value, there's nothing to learn in it, it's not inspiring, it's not educating, it's not funny or emotive or whatever it is, it's got to be good content. So it has to fulfill AVR. It's got to be attention grabbing, valuable, and it's got to be relatable to other people. First time tuning in. Thanks, Liz. Appreciate you being here. Ollie says, has anyone learned how to use Facebook ads to get acting work? Do you know what, Ollie? It's difficult because you can't exactly go, right, I'm going to target casting directors with my show reel. I mean, technically there would be ways to do that because you can target organizations. Agencies, it's pretty impossible to do that because you need to have over 250 employees within an agency for it to even be recognized, within a business for it to be recognized by Facebook. So you could show one way you could do it is you could go, right, I'm going to show my show reel to, I don't know, corporate people. You go, right, okay, I'm going to create a video saying, hey, RBS or whatever. Do you need any actors for your corporate videos? I'm here. Here's a video I shot for RBS. I don't know. It's very, very hit and miss. The best thing to do in order to get acting work would be to create it on your own terms and to be able to just, build your own audience, mate. I'm so passionate about actors building businesses around themselves. And if you don't want to do it completely on your own, form a little group of 5 of you or so, set up a theatre company, put on some shows, shoot a short film, then use Facebook ads to advertise that, where you're going to sell tickets to it and generate cash that way. And then when people are really into your work, you go, right, okay, we're going to change the short into a feature, but we're going to need 15 grand to do it. So everyone, there's 500 people who watched the short, and the 300 people who came, over 6 months to like the screenings we did, I can now ask them and they'll all put in 20 quid and then boom, you go, right, well, I've just raised 6 grand overnight. It's so possible, but you just got to just look at yourself as a business, because you are, and you're the only thing that you have to sell. Fanny's in the house. I've sent you a couple of messages. Oh, Fanny, I've seen a few notifications on Facebook. I've got a whole inbox full of things to go through. I'm almost caught up. If you've got anything you want to ask now, though, or you want to ask whatever question you wanted to ask on Facebook, just put it in the comments now, Fanny, and I'll look for it. And I can answer it now. That'd be good. We can then crack on then. Brendan says, it's funny we're so focused on our acting career we forget to think outside the box in order to promote our uniqueness. We do, Brendan, and so many actors, again, just want to, they spend all this time and this effort creating content, and then what do? They just post it in acting groups. And it's just like, it's never, ever going to lead to a job. It's going to lead to a lot of patting on the back and a lot of clapping from other actors. But that's it. And then you're all going to still be unemployed. Just understand your audience and, and start building the audience that, are ultimately from a whole cross-section of society. And then, you don't know who's going to end up in that audience. Who does see something you've done, who does own, who is the owner of a company and goes, you know what, God, this guy should be in our adverts. And then bang, you get a 10 grand contract or something to be in, some adverts. You've got to build an audience out of a huge cross-section of society who are interested in the genre of the thing that you're creating at that time. Your audience will change as well. You might be doing a sci-fi film this month, and then next month you're doing a horror. So you've got to start again. You've got to go out and go, right, I'm going to build some people across the horror, go into the Facebook groups on the horror genre. And I'm going to start posting, horror content in there. I'm going to start posting sci-fi content in here. And gradually, this is ultimately what happens to you if you were a successful actor and you're in lots of different films of different genres. You're going to build this audience. If you look at like the Dwayne Johnson's audience, his 100 million following or whatever on Instagram, they're not actors. There'll be a few in there, but they're not directors and casting directors. They're the public. They're the people who have disposable income who will spend money to be entertained. And that's what, I want people to understand. Empathy map is super helpful, says Amy. Yeah, that's Ollie's. Thanks to Ollie for that. I wasn't aware of empathy maps, but yeah, if you want to figure out what your audience wants so you can create content to actually, help them with that pain or that pleasure, overcome the pain, and have more pleasure, then Google empathy map and you'll be able to find loads and loads of examples of those. Steve's got a podcast. Yeah, absolutely, promoting your podcast. So Steve, again, you've got to put it everywhere, mate. And cut down clips, do trailers, take photographs, do behind the scenes stuff. Get your audience involved. I've started doing phone-in podcasts for ActsOnThis.tv because I wanted premium members of ActsOnThis.tv to be able to speak to my guests. They never, most actors never get a chance to speak to the actors and the directors and the casting directors I have on. I'm like, how can I get them more involved, give them more value, make it more relatable? I'm going to get them on the podcast. I'm going to phone them up. If you can involve your audience as much as possible, then that's brilliant. Thanks for the fab advice. I've selected as many keywords, even Strictly Come Dancing, just in case. Yeah, Julie, honestly, and play around with your audiences. Something me and Ollie are big on is testing and failing. Test and fail. As long as you're learning, you're succeeding. Fanny says she's creating something right now. Because you're in a sitcom, aren't you, Fanny? Which is awesome. Yeah, that's something that I just decided to start writing. Something myself. I've always been big on comedy. Don't know why I've not really. I wrote a comedy like 8 years ago. Left it on the shelf. I'm like, it is time to bring it back. Andrea says she's got a short film ready to be released and a feature film about to write. Lots of parts to get cast. And yeah, putting out, the fact that stuff's going into pre-production, Andrea, is going to build a buzz for that as well. So, I guess at that point, maybe there is, in certain circumstances, then there is a a point there where some of your audience that you would want to leverage would be actors, but not primarily, like, because obviously you're going to want to cast actors in it, but, don't just go after actors. It's just suicide. Marketing's so hard to learn from scratch, says Jill. I've learned loads doing Edinburgh Fringe, so I'll have a look at podcasts tomorrow in preparation for tour marketing. Podcasts are, super... it's a hugely crowded space, so it's got to be good. That's the thing. That's the thing with all of this. Ultimately, your content just got to be good, Jill. But podcasts are really powerful because people like to listen on the move now. Nobody likes to have to stop what they're doing in order to consume content now. Time is our biggest commodity, really. So if you can do audio over video, a lot of the time, then people will listen when they're out and about. Ollie says he's got a comedy treatment and doesn't know how to get in front of the right people. That wouldn't be a Facebook ads thing, that, Ollie. That would be networking, mate. So that would be all about finding the people in the... Well, actually, you know what? It's two-sided, that, isn't it? That's if you wanted to go the traditional route. If you wanted to go the traditional route, you would have to find the gatekeepers and go, right, who's a comedy developer for BBC, for BBC Three, for Channel 4, for, all the different production companies. Or if you really believe in the products and you're good, go straight to market. If you have the ability to go, right, you know what, I've got enough people around me to shoot this, even just a pilot, it doesn't have to be on a huge production value. And I'm going to go straight to market to prove the concepts. If you're good enough, mate, I'd do that. That's what I plan to do with the sitcom that I've got. I don't really plan to hook up with a company and go, right, I need you to do it. I want to be completely in control of it. Particularly, just when you're starting off to do maybe a pilot. I've got enough people in the industry now that I can call upon to make a really decent version of that. And, some funds to put into that myself. So I'm going straight to market. Basically, cut out the middlemen, boom. But yeah, it's really interesting. This is the only time ever in the history of man we've had this opportunity to go direct to market. You don't need to get permission from anybody else to do this. What I'm doing right now, broadcasting live to all you lot, would genuinely 15 years ago cost millions of dollars to do this. Like, honest to God, to broadcast live to the world, you're kidding? That would be insane. Now you can do it free. This is costing me nothing to do this. Which is another thing why we can't complain about social media. Oh, social media is so terrible. No, it's not. You're just using it for all the wrong reasons. It's so negative though, isn't it? No, human beings are negative. That's what's making it negative, not social media. Matthew says that's exactly what what's that? I only send CV and short videos to casting directors. Oh, that's a comment from ages ago. Sorry, Matthew. I went too far up the feed there. We'll all be in your comedy, says Sharon. Don't know how many parts I've got, Sharon, to be honest. Right now, it's already only 6 to 8 people in it, to be honest. But we can, I'm sure, there's definitely, you know what, there's one scene in episode 2 where if people want cameos, we can have probably everybody in it. I mean, literally everyone on this broadcast tonight could be in the end of episode 2, which I won't spoil for you, but it's fucking brilliant. It's really good. Everyone could be in that one, definitely. Gary, in terms of writing as well, Gary Thomas is on here as a writer. He's a great guy to ask for advice on writing as well, and particularly if you want funding for stuff. I know Gary's very good at filling out funding applications and gets quite a lot of funding, which is an area I've never looked at, so that's cool. Amy says, I wish I'd known more about effective social media marketing when I first released my podcast 2 years ago. I just didn't know who my audience should be. May need to rework the projects and do it again. A lot of people, Amy, just give up too early because they don't see results straight away. And when I look back at atsonthis.tv, right, setting up in 2011, so many times I wanted to give up over the last few years. It did not actually gain any momentum where there was, specifically, I mean, tonight right now we've got 40 people watching live, like concurrently. We've probably had through the broadcast a few hundred others. Got an email list now like 10,000. Quite a decent social media following on Twitter and stuff. It took 7 years. 7 years before I started seeing any kind of like snowball effects, any kind of traction, and most of that has come in, really, to be honest, in this year, in the last sort of 9 months where that's really started happening, particularly when I started working with Ollie on the social media side of stuff. But that's just what you've got to be prepared to put in. Someone will come to me now and they'll have a great idea, and genuinely I can go, you know what, that's really, really good. I can see that working in 4 or 5 years, and I think that's just a really short amount of time. And they just look like they want to cry. And I'm like, well, what did you expect? You want me to say, oh, yeah, well, that's it. You're going to be a millionaire in 3 months. I mean, might happen. I'm sure it does happen to a few people. where they blow up online and suddenly they end up with 2 million subscribers in 6 months or something like that. It can happen, and it does happen. But for most people, that is not the case. And if you are not prepared to put in the 4 or 5 years or the 6 years before you start seeing any kind of return, don't do it. And it also means you're probably doing the wrong project. You're doing it for the wrong reasons, or you're not passionate about the thing enough to see you through that time. So don't do that thing. Look for something you're more passionate about. And if you're looking to chase money or subscribers, something like that, it's just wrong. You're going to lose. You need to go, right, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be really happy about producing this content, regardless if 1 or 1 million people are going to be viewing. You only need 1 viewer to view your content, and it could be life-changing for them. So you just got to operate from a place where 1 is better than 0. And it's hard sometimes because we want that validation and we want that dopamine kick when suddenly we get, thousands of people, telling us how great this piece of content is that we put out, or it goes viral, or lots of people share it. It feels nice. But it can't be about that. It just can't be about that. It's got to be about the feeling you get creating the content and putting it out. Otherwise, you're probably creating the wrong thing. But a lot of people do give up just before they're about to pop. I should have on paper 100% have given up on actsonthis.tv. If I'd have looked at it and broken down what it was costing me and what the return was 4 or 5 years ago, it was costing me about $5,000 a year of my own money. I'd already put into actsonthis.tv from my own acting career and my own voiceover career $32,000 before it paid me a penny back. And I could do that because I was doing well enough in my acting career, but it was still pretty soul destroying at times to go, wow, okay, nothing's happening, and I'm putting my heart and soul into this. And I mean it. I was working 16-hour days for many, many years, and still do. Last night I got to bed at 2:00 in the morning, and here we are at 10:05 the next night, and I'm putting out free content, AVR, attention grabbing, valuable, relatable to you lot, because I care about my audience. You've got to do that. A lot of people will be like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm going to go and put Netflix on. So you've got to stick it out ultimately, and there'll be lots of times when you want to give up. Lark's in the house. How we doing, man? Melissa says, episode 2, here we come. What's that, Melissa? Are you doing a podcast or something? I missed your other comment. I don't think Facebook showed me all the comments tonight. Let me know what you're talking about if that's what you're doing. There's all these other comments coming through. In this business, we are constantly learning all the time, every single day, says Matthew. Definitely, mate. In life, though, that's just freaking life. If you're not growing, you are dying. I really believe in that. You cannot stay stagnant. You are one or the other. You are growing or you are dying. You're improving or you're stagnating. Ultimately, so you should always be looking for constant improvement. Paul said, just decided to produce my web series myself, sent the script to people and never heard anything back. Got fed up of asking for permission to tell the story, and I know it can resonate with people. Paul, you're definitely doing the right thing, mate. The premise of your comedy sounds great. I can tell already, mate. It'll be great if you put the work in and you don't get disheartened when you put episode 1 out or whatever, and you go 50 people have watched it, and most of them are my friends and family. That's going to happen. But you've got to stick it out. One of the lads, Phil Beestill, put his Christmas film out, Love is a Gift, in 2014, got 100 hits on it. Did it in 2015, a couple of hundred, 16, nothing really, 17, don't know. It wasn't until 18 he put it out, and then someone picked up on it, must have reshared it to a group, had a lot of people in it. Over Christmas, it got 35 million views. He then went on to direct Lewis Capaldi's Someone You Loved music video, which is at number 1 for something crazy like 16 weeks. And then that's obviously, brought in a whole stream of work for him as a director. That was 4 years of faith, posting the same content and it having no reaction, and then bang. So just because you post it once, that's another thing as well. Don't think when you post something on social media, your whole following sees it. You need to post multiple times. I could post the same thing 25 times on the trot, and not all you lot would see it. If you like the Acts on This page or you're following me on Twitter or whatever, that's not how the algorithm works. So you've really got to be consistent in your marketing and put stuff out in different ways, different times of the day, in different formats, for the different, in different contexts for the different platforms. Like I say, Instagram a 60-second video, Twitter a 2 minutes and 20 video, Facebook maybe a 5-minute video, YouTube the whole episode if it's 20 minutes or whatever. Lots of different contexts on the different platforms. Fanny says it gets to a point, however, that when you've invested everything emotionally and financially into something, you're actually loath to give up. So you stick it out. Yeah. Well, that's sunk cost syndrome. So there's two ways. Yeah, there's two ways to look at that. I think there was definitely a sunk cost syndrome with me with That's on This, and just an absolute pig ignorance in terms of going, I am not giving up on this. Where really on paper I definitely should have done. It was costing me too much money. But now it isn't. Now it has succeeded, paid me all that money back and a lot more. So I did stick it out, and sometimes that works. Sometimes there's a difference between that and then there's been things in my life that I've set up and I've given up, and I've gone, I really should have given up on that, because that was delusion that I would, I'd stuck at that for a year. I ran a share website once that I set up before I acted on this for like investors in the share dealing world. And that was just delusion on my behalf that I was ever going to make an impact on that in that industry, because I was literally against huge, like billion-dollar companies. I'm all about self-belief, but out of my mum's spare bedroom when I lived at home, this was many years ago, I was not really going to take on billion-dollar companies right at that point. I tried for a year, and then I got nowhere, and then I got threatened with violence. And lots of other stuff as well. So I was like, I should just shut this down. Like, it's actually delusion me sticking with this. So the self-awareness comes into that. But if you really, really, really believe, you should not give up. You should definitely keep going and go for it. Definitely. God, there's all these comments coming in. Melissa says, I was referring to my to the sitcom and my cameo. Oh, right, episode 2. Yes. Absolutely, episode 2. It's a great episode. Let's have a look. Michael Jackson's podcast, Invisible Tattoo on Forehead question, persevere. That's how you spell it. Yeah, so I always ask my guests on ActOnThis.tv at the end of the podcast, I ask them a few life things. And one of the questions generally is like, if you had a tattoo on your forehead that was invisible, but it's back to front, so when you looked in the mirror, only you could see it. It was invisible to everyone else. What word would it be? And Michael Jackson, the casting director, said persevere. I think that's just, that's just life, that, isn't it? So many things we've got to persevere on. Definitely. Gary, it looks like he's having a conversation with Ollie. Sam's just joined us. How you doing, Sam? I'll start wrapping it up in a second. Gary said I should have just hacked the big companies. There was no hacking available there, Gary. I'm not a hacker, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd have taken them down and stolen their cash. Listen, I hope this has been useful for you. Do go over to actonthis.tv. Go listen to the full podcast with Ollie. If you get a membership, not only will you get access to Ollie's podcast, you're also going to get access to dozens and dozens of other. There's Brassick's Rick Carr talking about self-tapes. Natalie Payne, the agent. That's a fantastic agent's phone-in. Jason Wingard, the director, talking about his film Meeting by Lions and his new film Pavement, starring Steve Everts. Rob Collier from Downton Abbey. Jordan Hogg. That was when they were in Ackley Bridge. Jordan Hogg's the director of Ackley Bridge. Rob was starring it at that point. Lewis Arnold, Jill Halfpenny, and Victor Jenkins, the casting director of Dark Money. Victor Jenkins was a BBC documentary, BBC drama. Lewis directed it, Jill starred in it, Victor cast it. Incredible roundtable podcast. That was Underwater's a short film. There's Jay out of Emmerdale that he made with Mike and Jonathan there. There's just like podcasts and podcasts and podcasts. There's Lydia West, that Years and Years, massive show, BBC One. There's just loads, and I've got a great podcast coming up that I'm recording on Wednesday of this week with Chris Hitchin. He's the star of Ken Loach's new film. It's called Sorry We Missed You. And this guy, up until a few months ago, was a full-time plumber and got picked up. And this is Ken Loach's apparently like his best work. The film's coming out in cinemas in November. It's going to be absolutely massive. And we're talking to Chris all about how his life has changed and how he got the role, what it was like filming it, how that's changed. Now he's got different representation, a completely new agent, a massive agent in London. What that's opens up for him in terms of casting directors. You know what? The reality of it. Not going to leave anything out. Want to know the reality behind going, right, when you get a break like this, what are the actual mechanics? What actually happens in terms of what are the conversations you have? What world does that open up? Is it good? Are the challenges there? Is it suddenly like everyone's like, oh, darling, oh, you're so amazing? Where previously, agents and casting directors who didn't give a shit about you 6 months ago suddenly are all over you, because that's happened to so many of my friends who've had real success, and suddenly they get auditions they would never have got previously, and the casting director's like, oh, it's so amazing to see you again, and they're like in their head like, you've never seen me, why are you saying see me again? Till I did this thing or won this award or got this thing, you didn't want to know me. I want to know about the reality of it, honestly, because this is life. This is just life. This is not exclusive to the acting industry. The world's fickle, and when you're hot property, people are all over you. When you're not, they're not. So we're going to find out all about that off Chris. Now, depending on what we talk about on the film side of things, and actually the storyline of the film, Sorry we missed you. I don't know if I'll be able to put that podcast out until the film comes out in November, but we're going to record it this Wednesday, sorry. Next week, we've got Isabel Steele from Emmerdale coming on as well. She plays Liv in Emmerdale. She'll be talking all about her experience of that over the last couple of years and now her bit of a transition into a different area of the industry. We're going to be talking about that. Won't give the spoilers away. We've got Danny Brocklehurst, the writer of Brassic, coming on for a roundtable podcast with a couple of members of the Brassic cast. I'm hoping for Joe Gilgan, maybe Michelle Keegan, but I don't know. Don't know if she'll do it. But that's going to be a good one. Just got so many podcasts coming up with some great people. So, if you're not a member of actsonthis.tv, get a membership. It literally costs you the price of like 2 cups of coffee a month. It's a complete no-brainer. I'm going to end tonight on a little video I put out on Instagram that you might not have seen on saying no. I think saying no to things in this industry sometimes and in life and other people is really powerful. I think sometimes we say yes out of weakness a lot of the time to please other people, and we end up saying no to ourselves. And I definitely have done that in my life and my career. I don't do that anymore. I want people to start saying no more often and start saying yes to themselves. So I created this video. This was I was waiting for my iPad to charge up, and I was filming like a piece to camera with Petch, and I was using auto cue. My iPad died, so we were waiting for it to charge up. And Petch does this sometimes. When we're having a chat, he'll just hit record on the camera. So we hit record, and this was like a 3-minute conversation, but hopefully you'll resonate with this as well and you'll find it useful. I'm going to be back, next Monday night, 9 p.m. Please come join us again. If you're listening on the audio experience, hugely appreciate you. Take a screenshot on your phone now of the audio experience. Send me a tweet at @OnThisTV or at Ross A. Grant. Let me know what your takeaway was from this. Get out there, create selfless content, give value to your audience, grab their attention, give them value, make it relatable. Let's just start, put yourself out there. Throwing your hat in the arena, ignoring the opinions and the fear of judgment of other people. Do it anyway. Ultimately, you're going to die at some point, and then nobody is going to give a shit. I mean, it's just the truth. Just the truth. Why do you worry about what people are thinking of you right now? Or if I put this out, what if they don't like this video I put out or this picture of me or whatever? No one cares. Just do it. Otherwise, you're going to take it to your grave with you. Graveyard, richest place in the world, innit? Where people's dreams go to die. Don't let that be you. Until next time, watch this, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Every time you say yes to something, by default, you're having to say no to something else. You might not even know what that is yet. I am at a point in my life where it's a little bit more unique in the sense that I've got this eye thing going on, so I'm losing my eyesight. So I go, right, if I have another 10 years of vision left in my life, what do I actually want to spend my time on? And this is where I had to get really brutal and clear in my own head with what I am willing and what I am not willing to accept in my career, out of my career, in my life. There's a point where I'm like, right now, regardless of whether me doing a theatre production is going to be good for my career or not, do I want to spend 3 months doing that? One, I really don't get along with theatre because of the blackouts. I can't see in the blackouts, very little spatial awareness. I just find it difficult to do theatre shows. So I have to go, right, also I'm going to waste 3 months of vision on, I wouldn't say waste, but I'm going to spend 3 months of my vision on that thing. And I'm like, if I'm not passionate about it and it's not worth 3 months of my vision, I'm just not going to do it. And it's really liberating to say no to something, because even if it seems a good opportunity, it could potentially lead to something. If it's not going to make you happy, don't do it. Regardless, I think every time you say yes to something, by default, you're having to say no to something else. You might not even know what that is yet. I've seen people do this. I've seen them accept a job. People accept an acting job that they don't really want to do, but maybe it'll lead to something. And then they're contracted to do it. And then 2 weeks later, a job they really want to do comes in, the dates clash and they can't do it. They can't get out of it. They're signed, there will be real repercussions if they quit. So just do, as cliched as it sounds, and it's a very luxurious position to be in if you can embrace it and you're strong enough to say no to stuff. Just say yes to the things that really, it's cliche to get in it, but sets your heart alight, where you're like, yes, I want to get up every day and do this.